so let's get into this clip here. And this is from my good friend, Potentially Criminal's show. It's clipped by that dirty Alyssa Clips.
Just so you guys understand, the thing that broke up the Lawtube cabal is money.
I love that also he acknowledges it was a fucking cabal, because that's the appropriate word for it is cabal.
Like, I remember, I got into this, like, and this is the problem of my life. I always get into groups when they fall apart.
Yes.
I'm always that guy. Like, I joined something, like, oh, this is great. I'm like, oh my God, it's burning down. I got it, and like, there was this massive DM. There was this massive Twitter DM on Law. Like, I think I still have it from my one account that got unbanned.
Was that after I burned the house down with Legal Bites?
Well, it was around that time anyway. Before that, you were in it too. But like, all these people were in it, and I was like, holy shit, this is insane. And then it turned into like, well, people are trying to schedule things out, and we were trying to. It was almost like a Luciano trying to bring like a commission together. We're gonna run all the mafia together. You put a bunch of lawyers in a room. You don't tell them what to do, and it kind of fell apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole point. It's like, you should have known from the beginning you weren't going to get a bunch of lawyers to agree on like a money split. That's how firms break up. But yeah, this was going down obviously after Depp, right? And this was like August, September, October.
Well, no, it already Depp. Once the whole Larry thing happened.
The Larry thing happened, and then there was also the wedding, and then there was the
but Larry at Depp, that was like that was the Battle of Salo Heights, and the Russians were moving on Berlin right away.
Yeah.
It was over at that point. I'm like, oh God, this is fucking insane.
Yeah, that was the Kumbaya was over. The little fun anime picture with everybody together. It's like you'd have to draw a little Paul chart with X's over it for people that have left or died or they're gone off.
Yeah, and it was funny because at the time Richard Hogue was like, "Yeah, here's a thing where like everybody can sign off their signing rights over on this thing and like waiver." And I was like,
and I wrote about, it's like, yeah, fuck you, cuck, and he's like, ooh, and he got mad at me. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, nobody's doing.
Well, no, but I just like I cut the thing out, and that's what I use as my fucking channel logo. So whoever that person is out there that made it, thank you so fucking much for giving it to me, because I still think it's really cool, and I'll probably never. I was touched. I just like I'd been only doing it for like fucking a month, and I got included. So.
Skipper said, did Nick stop trial stream because he didn't want to compensate people to pass the 8 hours or guests on other channels without compensation? No, he stopped trial streaming because he couldn't do it. It's not because he couldn't pay people, although he never did. We're
gonna get to that still. We're gonna get to that.
I'm gonna play it. But that said, it's not because of compensation. It's because he could not cut it. He couldn't just sit there. All right. So let's go to this commentary from. This is once again from Nate the lawyer on when Lawtube fell apart. I'll just start.
So you guys understand, the thing that broke up the Lawtube cabal is money. When now thinking back,
the attempt to basically unionize it, and I was like, oh boy.
No, you know what? I think people didn't realize. So when Nick was doing Rittenhouse and Johnny Depp and all these other things, having 10 lawyers come onto a stream and talk about the case is so valuable. Valuable, because don't forget that's what blew up.
And I didn't see any of it.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, if you're making, some of these guys are making $20,000-$30,000 a day, and you don't think about giving it to any of your, just at least saying, hey, you know what? I know you're helping me. You're coming to my channel every day, helping me get these views and subs. It's not me. Just break off a little, or even like a gift or something. But none of those people did that. And matter of fact, I think Nick even promised a couple of people to actually break them off a piece, and never broke them off a piece. So just to let everybody know, it was the thing that broke. The reason why
that's some hot goss I never heard.
Oh yeah. No, there's I don't know if he wants. Well, there's two people. I don't know if they want me to say their names, but they say they were promised by Nick a piece of some of the action, and then it disappeared, and they never got it. So, and that was the reason. That's kind of what broke everything up. So, and then I remember we were all arguing over who, because then it was like the next trial. So it was like, who would be the solo person to do the next trial?
Oh yeah, like I saw that. Well, that part of like,
that part got really
we're gonna organize this, and we're gonna have that's you put a bunch of lawyers in a room, all they're gonna do is start fighting, and that actually was a good thing, I think.
Yeah.
Based Sean take as always.
Yeah, there's a lot of hurt feelings during the whole Johnny Depp thing.
Yeah.
Yes, there were.
Mm-hmm.
Someone tried to set up a schedule. Like it was going to be a thing.
A couple of both who were both lunatics.
and that's so fair. That's so fair. Two separate lunatics. So there was a couple things in that I want to clarify. Which Lawtubers do you think were promised money by Nick Rekieta and he didn't deliver? So
are you talking about money from the Rittenhouse trial or
okay, so there's both. That happened in both.
Well, so it's not me because I saw you guys doing the Rittenhouse thing, and I was like,
it happened on both. It happened on both. That said, there probably are more because I wasn't privy to every private conversation. I wasn't always there. So, two, when he said he knows two, there's probably more. So, of this, from the Rittenhouse trial, I was behind stage with both Alita, Legal Bites, and Joe when he made a comment about giving us something. He said he didn't know what, but it would be something. He didn't be specific about what it was. He didn't say it was a gift. And I didn't want to talk about this because it was behind the scenes for a long time. But Joe was super salty that he never came through with that. Because he never came through. So I know that was at least one of the people from the Rittenhouse days.
Really? Right? Oh.
Before all of this, right? And then when it came to the Depp trial, there was some what do you call it? Carrot and sticking.
Yeah.
With because Legal Bites was getting all the people. Right? So it was like Legal Bites getting all the people. Well, why should we go to Nick? Well, he's gonna hint that, hey, we do well here. We're gonna break you off. But
I still wasn't part of this. Jesus.
I'm thinking like you didn't break us off before, and you insinuated it. Right now, once again, I wasn't mad about it at all because I didn't expect it. Because the benefit was getting initially when you go on those streams, as Sean can tell you,
people just click on. Yeah,
you get a lot of subs. You get a lot of viewers. That's a benefit. That's a real benefit. It grows your channel. Grew my channel a lot. And yes, that helped me out a shit ton. Getting a bunch of subs during Rittenhouse, getting a bunch of subs during Johnny Depp. But here's the problem. You only get so many subs by being on somebody else's stream. The amount of subscribers and viewers, and more importantly, money you get from doing your own stream is not even close. It's zero versus a lot. So I realized I'm spending hours and hours and hours. I've spent weeks of my time sitting on someone else's stream making zero, right? And I'm actually to the point where I'm neglecting my own channel.
Yes, and that was something my better half was trying to tell me at the time during Johnny Depp, and I was like, no, trust me, babe, this is working out. And now in hindsight, I'm like, I should have just started fucking running it and just making a couple of bucks.
Illegal Bites and her husband during the struggle session were very mad about that part. They were like, Nick should have broken.
Because you went to the wedding, right?
Yes, they were both very salty about that specific.
And so what did they say at the wedding? It wasn't at struggle session info.
It was even before. It was during the struggle session. Because remember, the struggle session was for permission to come to the wedding. Because I had to get struggle session because they're like, look, we don't want anybody who doesn't like her. They've got to pass this purity test, right? With Nick isn't looking to pass his purity test, and fuck that guy. And I'm like, hey man, I'm neutral in this. Like I'm whatever, right? Like Nick can speak for himself. He's a big boy, right? But part of that was he's like, I don't like how he's treated her, right? And that's why she was doing her own stream. That's why she did her own thing, because she was not treating her fairly, right? And in her defense, she made a shit ton of money. She made a fortune. Brandon said 5-5. Does Joe still benefited? I found all of you guys through Rekieta during Rittenhouse, but quickly stopped watching him and followed the two of you, Joe and Kurt Manley. And they're all good lawyers, right?
Yeah.
But to be honest, there was a lot of bitching about money. And the top two at that time I was hearing it from was Joe and Alita, right? Then that rolled into the Depp trial. And then after that was when they came up with the idea of literally assigning trials to different lawyers.
Yeah, and that's where I was like, I'm not doing that.
No, and that's what and when I was like, no, we're not doing that. Fuck you. Like, no, I'm not signing your little stupid Eric Hogue shit. Not doing that at all. No, sorry.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. I didn't know about the money. So I didn't realize shit was already simmering by the time Johnny Depp started. I mean, that was months. There was a good 4 or 5 months in between.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit was just festering and simmering. Whoa, chat.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Kurt was not one of the ones, by the way. Let me get that out there.
Yeah.
Unless he has information. I can't speak for what conversations he may have had, and I'm not speaking for him at all.
Yeah.
But it was not Kurt.
It's interesting learning this.
But yeah, so this is why we all broke off and did our own thing, and this is why it's better to do your own thing anyways. Now, I think Nate has a good point, though. If you really want someone as a guest and you really want them as a panelist, and they're bringing in a lot of people uniquely, and they have their own audience, of tens of thousands of people, you should break them off something. Because, look, maybe the Rittenhouse trial would have still been awesome, but having the reactions of myself, Joe, Legal Bites, whatever, whoever was doing that, how much better did that make it? Maybe it's 5% better. Maybe it's 10% better. Oh, right. You could break off 2%, and that'll be a shit ton of money. Right.
Yeah. Well, when you're making a couple $100,000, what's $500?
Yeah. Right. Like you're making $20,000 a stream, and you can't throw $500. Like, I get
or
it.
not even 20,000. Like at the end of the trial, man. Here's like $500. Like that's $500 fucking dollars. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like forget per stream, just anything, even like $50, even a fucking gift card to Red Lobster, right? Like we're not even getting we're getting nothing. We're just getting fucked, right? But that said, we got subs, right? We get subs, and we got a benefit from that. Yes, but it's not commensurate. I think with the contribution.
It's getting paid and exposure only goes so far.
Over the short term, it is. Over the long term, it's not.
Oh yeah, no. Like the first, I still comment on it. It was It's like April 5th, 2022. Yeah. I got on.
We didn't even get a free ball, though.
Yeah. Nick had me on, and I was like, I had my watch hours because I had done the Theodore Edgecombe trial, which was fucking hilarious. But I couldn't get over 1,000 subs. I was like 850. I went on Nick's show, and like by the time the show was over, I was at like over $2,000 in subs, and I got monetized right away. Like, that helped. It was great, but that was the big jump. But after that, it's I've made this. I built this.
But at the same time, while it might be a smart practice, right? There's no duty, right? And I felt no obligation for him to give it. And if we didn't, I'm like, that's fine. I'll go make my own channel. I'll go do my own stuff and have my own way of doing things. And that's how you figure it out on your own. You realize no one's going to hand it out to you. You do it yourself. And I'm better for him not paying me, because honestly, if he started to pay me or anybody else,
you would have stuck around
for way longer than I should have. And I have no qualms about not being invited to the Lawtube tea parties or whatever the fuck else they have, the circle jerks, right? Because it's like, obviously,
I don't really think there's any of those now.
Well, they do exist. I see them from time to time. I mean, a little bit of the Hundley stuff and stuff like that. They'll have a couple of those, or when Joe didn't invite me on his anniversary, obviously, right? So it's like, it's a get together. There's Sean and Nick in the same room. Of course, that didn't go over very well. But that said, I'm not mad about it. It's fine, and I'm happy to be doing my own thing, and then just collaborate with people on specific topics that have high interest, like Sean. Like we are both covering Nick. Sean is an appropriate guest. When I cover Disney, I can go talk to the Disney people, or bring in Ron to
Valiant,
talking about Valiant. Or some really cool people. Or if I'm doing VTuber stuff, I go get some degenerate 2D people. So I've got all sorts of options here. Are you a little bit, maybe you were watching, were you surprised about, the folks that were butthurt about money?
Secret cabal. It doesn't surprise me at all, honestly. And like when you said like name some people in the chat, I think I got my guess was correct. It doesn't surprise me. And I can understand it, but it is a bit of a revelation.
I get it, but the thing is, a lot of those people try to say they don't care about money. They're like, we don't care about money. No, you do. You really do, right? Just be honest about it. Like you wouldn't do this if you weren't making
lawyers. They're lawyers. Right? Nobody becomes a lawyer to be fun.
Well, and you don't.
Well, maybe you become it if you believe in something very true and honest, right? But
you don't shut down your firm because you think that to do YouTubing because you think that YouTubing is not profitable, right?
Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with liking money as well. That's perfectly fine.
There's nothing wrong with that. But people have some weird guilt about it. And it's like, it's really odd. It's really fucking odd. Also, somebody asked on the way out, Kamala Norris, what's the drama between DUI guy and Legal Bites?
He made a funny face in court.
Elaine, whatever the fuck her name is, basically
he soy face
owned in court. And everybody was like, oh my God, that was so funny because she did. She completely fucked up. And apparently that was inappropriate. It's like everybody did it. So